Hi, I'm Omid and today I'm going to show you how to translate texts inside the Power Query by using Google Translate API. Let's jump to learning. Consider this example, including the customer comments in different language, and I want to translate all of them to English. Before solving this question, let's consider an example that you want to convert a small text from English to other language like French. So let's add steps. To using Google Translate API, this is the URL including three parameters. First parameter is SL, means source language, and you have to determine it by ISO code like EN, means English. The next parameter is TL, means target language, and in this example I want to convert it to the French. And the last parameter is Q, including the texts that you want to translate. Let's write hello world. This URL should be input inside the function, namely web.contents. So put it inside double quotation, and here also let's write web.contents, open parentheses. By doing this function, automatically JSON.document is added at the beginning of the formula, because the result of this function in this case would be in type of JSON. So the translated text would be in the first item in the list, and then first, and then also first item in the list. This is the translated version of texts that I use. Instead of adding these three steps at the end of the formula, I can use index as a 0, as a 0, as a 0, and translate it in a one line. So this formula is going to translate the texts that I use, but I determine the source language as a EN, means English. But in the main example, there are lots of texts in different language, and we should use auto detect a feature of Google.Translate. So instead of using EN as a source language, let's write auto to use auto detection. So this formula is almost ready. Let's create a blank query and put it here. I want to define custom function for translation. So I'm going to define a text as input of function. This is the function, and finally the formula is provided at the end. But instead of using the fixed text here, let's use it the input parameter text, and done. Now there is a function. If you insert some word like good morning and invoke it, it's going to translate it to the French. But in our example, we want to translate all the texts from auto-detected to English. So instead of using French here, we can use it here. We can define all three parameters in the custom function here, but in this example, it's not required. So rename the custom function translation, and back to the main example. This is the texts. Let's add a new column, EN version, and use the custom function that we created, and column namely comments as the first input, and press OK. It's going to translate all the texts from different language to English. But instead of adding this column and then removing the previous column, we can do the change on this main column, on the source column here. To change all these texts from their own language to English directly, just right click on it and use any transform functions like lowercase. This formula is going to transform all these texts to lowercase. The first input is the previous steps and the second input is a list, including several sublists, but in this example we have just one transformation, so it's include one sublist. The first argument determines the name of column and the second one is the transform function. In this case, instead of text.lover, we are going to use our own custom function, translation, and press enter. By doing this, the result would be the translated version of texts.